Well, hello, I'm Corelli. Welcome to my channel. Γεια σας, είμαι η Κατερίνα Corelli. Καλώς ήρθες στο κανάλι μου. I like saying this in Greek occasionally, really. And today I'm painting another portrait. It's a continuation of the same series called Without Words. And I've already painted this man before. This time it's a different reference picture, and I'm going for a different portrait. And before we dive in, of course, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel and enable all notifications. Hit that bell notification so that you don't miss any of my videos. I have a paint-through video coming out, then usually 3 days later, I have a members-only video dropping, which is usually a charcoal sketch or drawing or a video that I cannot publish publicly because it is sensitive. And then another 3 days later, I usually drop a lyric video. That's how it works. Members in the members area, of course, have perks and have special discounts on my original works. So consider joining. Check out my channel, hang around, see for yourself if you like my stuff, subscribe, and become a member. So today we are painting another portrait, and it is kind of a low-key portrait because everything is fairly dark. I'm starting with the subject himself, and I'm kind of leaving the background for a later stage because at this point the background doesn't concern me too much. There is one thing that I probably should have considered early on, is that I wasn't painting all of this in one session. I started out fairly quick, but then I had to stop, and then I couldn't return until next evening or next night. And when I continued, the first coat of paint basically dried up quite a bit. And so all of a sudden I wasn't painting wet into wet, even though I originally intended to paint the whole painting alla prima, wet into wet. It didn't happen. And then, because of the difference in how much linseed oil I was using, the subsequent background turned out to have a different glare. So when you will be looking at the finished painting, you will see that there is a difference in the glare, which is quite unfortunate. I will have to level that glare by varnishing the piece, most definitely. Because unless I do so, there is a difference. It kind of looks weird. You will see what I mean in the end of the video. But anyways, I'm starting out bold and painting very, very loose. But one thing that I'm really honing in here is when I started painting this portrait, I forced myself to forget that I'm painting a portrait. So I started with shapes, and I've applied or tried to apply the approach that I'm using in landscape painting. So it's big masses, almost to the extent that I've reimagined his face as a landscape so that I would see only values. This is the next day, next night. I come back with painting the background. You see that there's fresh paint, and it doesn't exactly line up very well. The glare is different. And that was, I should have considered this. But it's a real painting. It's not flawless. And there's always something that shows up. And theoretically, I could have painted over this and done another coat of oils. But, at that point, I was done with this painting. And it felt finished. So I think I'll level this out, this extra glare, by using varnish. But anyhow, the painting is still standing in my office. It still needs to cure fully. It needs to dry. It will take some time. You see how loose I am. And I'm deliberately almost scrubbing the paint into the canvas, because this is a canvas panel, handmade canvas panel, by the way. I make these panels myself. I use masonite, then I prime my own canvas with different colors, and then I use, as an adhesive, I use, what is it called? Acrylic medium. I use an acrylic medium to glue on my already primed canvas to the masonite. And then I let it dry. And so, but the thing that I've noticed is that the absorption rate of a canvas panel like this, there's the finished work, and a canvas that is stretched on stretcher bars is different. These canvas panels are less absorbent. Maybe because I was running on thinner canvas. I had a whole batch of these panels, and the canvas was just thinner. Maybe I wasn't putting enough gesso there, and so the absorbency rate was so low. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But, this is the finished work. You see what the glare does on the right side. There's a little bit of a problem, but I think I'll level it out. And it's going to be okay. Well, plus the photo is far from perfect because it was still freshly painted, and I've taken a picture using my phone, and so you end up with an inconsistent glare, and no matter how I turn these paintings here in my garage, I end up still having a glare. And I think I won't resolve this problem until I actually get myself a real camera, which will allow me to take much better pictures. But until then, it is what it is. So anyways, this is the new painting. Thank you very much for being with me. If you like my content, please go ahead and subscribe. I'll appreciate this. I'm also doing live streams, chit-chat live streams, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. EDT, for at least 1 hour. So check in, see if you have any questions. Let's have a conversation. I'll be happy to see you. Thank you very much, and until next time. Ciao.